Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news. Now, as we gear up for what promises to be an intriguing NFL season, especially for the Steelers, there's quite a bit to unpack, from roster moves, or the lack thereof, to the ongoing quest to solidify that wide receiver room that, let's face it, has been a bit of a roller coaster over the past few seasons. The Steelers have always been known for their strong defense and resilient culture, but in recent years, especially with the departure of some key offensive weapons and the development of their young core, the question mark has been, can they finally find consistency and explosiveness at the receiver position? Well, this offseason brought some interesting developments, but also some concerns that could influence their overall trajectory in 2024. Let's start with the most talked about topic, the receiver room. Despite making a bold move earlier in the offseason by trading for DK Metcalf, one of the most dynamic and physically gifted receivers in the league, the Steelers seem to be walking a tightrope when it comes to their offensive targets. Metcalf, as we all know, is a game changer. His combination of size, speed, and toughness makes him a nightmare for defenses, and with his addition, Pittsburgh's passing game has certainly gotten a boost. But here's the catch: even with Metcalf on board, the overall depth chart is still quite fragile. The team traded away George Pickens, a young receiver with tons of potential, to clear cap space and perhaps to reshape their offensive strategy. While some fans might see this as a bold move, it also raises eyebrows because the room is still thin on proven options outside of Metcalf. Now, why is this a concern? Well, the NFL is a league where injuries happen all the time, and having a reliable, multiple-threat receiver core is crucial for sustained success. Last season, we saw how the Steelers' offensive struggles were magnified when their key playmakers went down or couldn't get separation. If Metcalf were to miss any game time, the room could very well crater, just like it did last year when injuries and inconsistency hampered their offense. The coaching staff has been somewhat silent about the possibility of adding another receiver before training camp, but that silence might be more about strategic patience than a lack of options. Rumors have circulated, and insiders suggest that the Steelers are still eyeing potential additions, maybe even bringing in a veteran to stabilize the position. And this brings us to an interesting twist in the story: the possibility of reuniting with Chase Claypool. For those who might have missed the news, yes, that's right, Chase Claypool, the enigmatic and sometimes controversial receiver who once dazzled in his rookie season, could be making his way back to Pittsburgh. Now, this isn't just some random reunion. It's a story filled with nostalgia, what-ifs, and a dash of risk. Claypool, drafted in the second round back in 2020, burst onto the scene with the Steelers, showing flashes of brilliance that had fans dreaming about a future star. His rookie year was impressive: big plays, touchdowns, a knack for making contested catches. But after that, things started to get murky. The following seasons were marked by inconsistency, and unfortunately, a bit of childish behavior both on and off the field. His attitude sometimes clashed with team culture, and performance-wise, he never quite took the next step. The Steelers, seeing the potential but also the issues, traded him in what was widely considered an overpay by the Chicago Bears. Since then, Claypool's career has been a bit of a downward spiral. The Bears' experiment didn't pan out, and now he's back on the market, eager to reclaim some of that early promise. From the Steelers' perspective, bringing him back might seem like a quick fix or a low-cost gamble, but it's important to understand the bigger picture. Claypool's talent is undeniable. He's still a freakish athlete with a rare combination of size and speed. His frame and athleticism could still be carved into a useful role, especially as a depth receiver or on special teams. But the question is, does he really fit into what Pittsburgh needs right now? The team already has players like Ben Skowronek, who can serve as special teams contributors and depth receivers, so adding Claypool might be seen as redundant or even disruptive. Plus, let's be honest, bringing Claypool back into the fold might stir up some media drama and fan debates. The last thing the Steelers want is to create distractions or bring back old issues. The locker room has been evolving, and stability is key if they want to maximize their chances for a deep playoff run. While Claypool's raw talent and athleticism are tempting, his history suggests that his best role might be as a backup or a situational player rather than a full-time starter. And to be fair, the Steelers have been cautious about rushing into any signing that could shake up their chemistry or undermine their team culture. But let's not forget, the NFL is a league that often rewards patience and resilience. If Claypool truly has learned from his past mistakes and can demonstrate maturity and dedication, there's a possibility he could carve out a niche with Pittsburgh. Still, the priority for the Steelers should be to find a receiver who can contribute immediately, provide consistency, and help open up the field for their quarterback, Kenny Pickett. The draft and free agency are full of options, and it's likely that the Steelers are exploring all avenues. They need someone who can stretch the field, create mismatches, and provide a reliable target in critical moments. Qualities that perhaps Claypool, in his current state, might struggle to consistently deliver. This entire situation highlights a broader theme for the Steelers this season: the quest to solidify their offense around a core of young, talented players and seasoned veterans who can perform under pressure. Pittsburgh's identity has long been built on resilience, tough defense, and a clever, physical offense. But in today's NFL, having a weapon like Metcalf is only part of the equation. They need complementary pieces that can operate in synergy, keep defenses honest, and capitalize on opportunities. Looking at their recent draft picks and offseason moves, it's clear that the Steelers are trying to balance between developing their young talent and adding veteran presence. Kenny Pickett, now entering his second season as the starter, will be looking for reliable targets to help him take that next step into stardom. The coaching staff, led by Mike Tomlin, has always emphasized discipline, toughness, and adaptability, but the offensive side has faced criticism for its inconsistency. Getting a true WR1, or at least a dependable number 2, is a priority, especially with the AFC North getting tougher every year. And speaking of the division, let's not forget how competitive the AFC North has become. The Bengals, with Joe Burrow and their explosive offense, are always a threat. The Ravens, with Lamar Jackson, are looking to reassert their dominance after some injury-plagued seasons. The Browns, with their revamped defense and a healthy Deshaun Watson, are no longer just a team to watch, they're contenders. So the Steelers can't just sit back and hope things will fall into place. They need to be aggressive, strategic, and precise in their roster moves. In terms of their current roster outlook, the Steelers are likely to lean heavily on their veteran leadership, especially on defense, which remains a cornerstone of their identity. The front seven, with T.J. Watt leading the charge, is still among the best in the league. But if they want to make a real playoff push, they're going to need that offense to catch up. That means not only signing a reliable receiver, but also ensuring that their offensive line holds up and that their play calling maximizes the talent they have. Kenny Pickett's development will be critical. The young quarterback showed flashes of promise last season, but consistency remains an issue. Having a solid, dependable receiver core will be essential for him to grow and succeed. Steelers' receiving unit in its current form is a mixed bag, some promising young players, but no clear, proven WR1 other than Metcalf, who is more of an outside threat. The question is, can the Steelers find that second reliable target, or will they have to settle for a rotation of complementary players and hope for the best? This entire scenario makes the upcoming season even more intriguing. The Steelers are known for their resilience and ability to adapt, but the clock is ticking. The window for winning a Super Bowl with this core isn't infinite, and every move they make now could be the difference between a deep playoff run and an early exit. The NFL is a league where depth, chemistry, and timing are everything, and Pittsburgh knows that better than anyone. Now, as we look ahead, it's worth considering what might happen next. Will the Steelers pull off a surprise move and sign a veteran wide receiver in the coming weeks? Could they use their draft capital to pick up a sleeper in the later rounds? Or perhaps they'll roll the dice with what they have and hope that their young players step up in a big way. Whatever the case, one thing is certain: Pittsburgh fans should stay tuned, because this story is far from over. The team is at a crossroads, and their decisions in the coming weeks could define their season and their future. In the end, it's all about that relentless Steelers spirit, the never-say-die attitude, the grit, and the desire to be champions. It's what has carried them through tough times and what will continue to drive them forward. So, whether it's through signing another receiver, developing their young core, or perhaps even reuniting with a familiar face like Claypool under the right circumstances, the Steelers are clearly aiming to build a team that can compete at the highest level once again. Fans, you know how passionate and resilient this team is, and I believe that with the right moves, they can surprise us all. They're hungry, they're motivated, and they're ready to prove that Pittsburgh is still a city where football is king. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. Do you think they should bring Claypool back, or are there other targets they should be pursuing? How confident are you in Kenny Pickett's development and the overall direction of the team? Remember, your voice is part of this conversation, and we love to hear what you think. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news. Together, let's keep the passion alive and the Steelers' spirit burning bright.